Molly's Mind is back. I'm here with none other than the now famous Molly. Welcome back.
Thank you.
To your show, your channel, your playlist, within my Corin's World channel.
Because I'm a big part of Corin's world.
She is a huge part of Corin's World. She is our producer, everything.
I'm at your actual world.
Oh, and my actual world. Let's get into today's topic, which is a hefty one. This might even have to be like a 2-part episode, or maybe like a 3-part or 4-part or 5-part episode, because there's so many layers to it. Today's topic, which is always on Molly's mind, social media. So it's something that is very close to a lot of us. You're probably watching us. I guess, would you call YouTube
well,
a social media
whoever's watching this is on, it's a social media
That's social
platform.
media?
Yeah.
Well, it's social.
It's media.
It's media. Yeah, I guess
social
so.
Media.
If you're on YouTube, you are involved in this social media chat right now. But it's something that's close to our hearts. It's close to your hearts. It's close to your hand. It's close to your brain. So we sort of wanted to figure out, and I wanted to pick Molly's brain about it because she's on Instagram. She's involved in Instagram and not so much Facebook anymore. But why?
Twitter, I have like 70 followers.
Twitter, she's got 70 followers,
and, like,
so get at her.
3 tweets in like 7 years.
But like the fact that she's saying that right now and sort of laughing over it is like something that maybe 10 years ago I would have laughed at her for making a comment like that, where she might have been laughing at it because she only has 70 followers. When in reality, like, who really cares about that, you know?
Yeah,
Not that you care about it.
Yeah, I was more laughing because, like, I've had Twitter since, like, I don't know, maybe, like, 2012 or 2014, or I've had Twitter for a while, and, like, I literally have, like, 4 tweets. Like, I don't know what to, like, tweet. I don't know what to say, so, like, I don't tweet anything.
Yeah.
I don't care. I was more just laughing about that, like, I don't tweet.
I guess Twitter is an interesting one to start with, and we could sort of go down the evolution of, like, social media in general. But the fact that you say that right there, like, you don't know what to tweet. Mm-hmm. I think, in a sense, I mean, like, nobody knows what's to tweet, really, you know? Like,
well, I mean,
there is obviously probably an art to it. A lot of people, like, you know, Kyle's great at...
Yeah, there's different types of tweeters.
Is it a tweet?
So Kyle is obviously, like, a political tweeter. Like, I mean, obviously other stuff as well, but, like, he...
I wonder if it's Tweeter or Twitterer.
No, Tweeter.
Okay.
There's
definitely a word for it that we don't...
Kyle tweets, like, political stuff and, like, shares political stuff. Obviously, like, some sports stuff, too, and probably just whatever he's feeling.
Sometimes.
Yeah, whatever he's feeling.
Photos.
Whereas, like, Chrissy Teigen is, like, it's, like, comedy tweets,
you
know? But I think the purpose of Twitter is kind of just, like, this is what you're feeling in the mood, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, okay, so Facebook, well, first it was, like, MySpace. Right, so like we just
I'm trying to think if there was even like before MySpace, but I think it started like we spoke about in our last Molly's Mind. I think AIM and like AOL came before. Like AOL was like the OG.
Yeah.
And like my father used to get a free like 90. I think it was maybe like 600 hours or something. These like old CDs that he would put into the computer. I don't even know if you remember this.
No.
Yeah.
We didn't have that.
Yeah, you'd get a CD. And it was like AOL, whatever version, 6.0, and it'd say like 700 hours.
Yeah, so it's like you get the CD and the software's on the CD.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, because that's like when you would get the Sims, you'd have to buy like the Roller Coaster Tycoon, you'd buy the CD and then you'd like...
Yeah, you put a CD into your computer.
Yeah.
But my dad used to get like all of these, like, he used to get like the AOL 7.0 when it came out or whatever, because he was a computer teacher, so... I don't know if he had some, like, weird computer type of, like, dealer that gave him these, like, special...
All right, let's get on topic, because there's a lot of talk.
Okay, that's bringing me back memory lane. But AOL was the OG
but there's just so much...
Okay, so...
That's, like, not even...
No, but that sort of started... Yeah, it is, because that started my progression of social media, because I used to go into AOL, and there would be certain chat rooms that I looked for. So it would be, like, Nickelodeon would be a chat room, and I would go in there... And at the time, it was safe, and you could go on there and talk about Rugrats or, you know, Doug or Rocco, and you would find a chat room that you were interested in. So in some way, you were interacting with another person that and so maybe the original might have been like pen pals, and then the evolution started to like AOL chat rooms. Then from AOL chat rooms went to AIM, and then from AIM to MySpace to Facebook.
I would say in between pen pals and like AOL, there was like just emailing.
Yeah.
Was like probably because AOL.
No, pen paling came before emailing because you would send an actual letter.
Pen paling and like the whole AOL platform, that within AOL there was like AIM within AOL. So if you had a
AIM was separate from AOL.
Before that, before AIM came its own thing, there was like
AOL.
Inside of AOL was like you could chat.
Yes, that was AOL. It wasn't AIM. AIM was instant.
Do you know what
messenger.
AIM stands for?
Yes, instant messenger.
No, what does the A stand for?
I don't know. That's why I skipped over it.
Yeah, it was like a platform, like, so you could have the same screen name through like AOL and sign on through AIM.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I need to Google that really quick.
Yeah,
I'm
I don't think that. I think AOL was separate from AIM. It was almost like a subdivision, I want to say. Well, regardless, I think that like there's always a seed that gets planted early.
AIM, does AOL still have AIM? Like AIM was part
of
AOL.
Yeah, it's the same family.
Right. So I'm just saying. So it was like part of AOL. So like at one point, like AOL had its own like instant messaging.
Yeah, I know what they are. Like I know what they are.
But you're saying they're completely separate like programs.
They were.
They're the same.
AIM had the little yellow guy.
And
AOL was a blue.
Yes, but like it was the same guy. It was like
I know it was the same guy.
Whatever. Let's move on. Okay, so you had AOL.
So here's my point.
You had AIM.
Here's my point, and I think this is
where... Which I call it AIM. Let me just be clear. I call
AIM.
it AIM, not AIM.
It's AIM. We'll put a survey. What do you say, AIM or AIM?
It's like, what do you say, sneakers or tennis shoes?
GIF or GIF. All right, we're getting off track. Here's my point. And the conversation got started recently because around our daughter, sometimes we'll be on our phones, and these are things that kids see us doing. So there's always a seed that gets planted very early, and then it grows and it grows and it grows, and it gets to a point where we are now, where like sometimes people are like, I have to be off social media because it's just too much.
Yeah.
Whereas some people are like, I do it in moderations. So I'm curious what your thoughts are. Is there like a perfect balance for social media? Should you be on every platform like my mom? Or should you balance it out and maybe say, I like being on Instagram because I like looking at pictures.
Yeah.
I also like being on Facebook more now because it's a good way to connect with older family members.
Yeah.
Twitter is a good way to connect to Corin's World fan base. Mm-hmm. So I feel like every platform has their audience that they reach out to. Mm-hmm. What you being you, saying, you have 70 followers, you don't know what to tweet, maybe Twitter's not for you. You like Instagram because, you can follow pregnancy stuff or something like that. What's a good balance for social media for people like us who have a daughter, people who have friends? I will let you answer the question now.
Okay. So I think it's really, this is just my personal opinion, but I think it's really
That's why there's Molly Mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's my mind,
Go.
my opinions. I think it really just depends on the person. Like, I'm someone who, if I post on Instagram, like, there's not a long caption to go with it. So that's why I feel like with Twitter, so Facebook, so this is where I was going with, let's back up to MySpace, because MySpace was what it was, but then Facebook came about, and Facebook was like the picture and the big long caption with it, and the albums with the things, and you could write on people's walls, so it was like connecting with people with words and pictures. And then Twitter came along, and Twitter was like just the words, no pictures. Like, you can do pictures, but Twitter is mostly like you're just doing the words.
A short
and then
form.
Instagram is just the pictures, with which obviously you can do the words, but the whole point of Twitter is like all about the words. The point of Instagram is about the pictures, and Facebook is like a combination of the two.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm more of like a visual person. Like, I'm more about like, I take a picture. It doesn't need like some long caption to go along with it. And so that's just.
So what's the?
No, I think.
What's the meaning behind you posting a picture?
Well, let me just finish the original question. So the original question is like, what I don't even remember what your question was now. But
what's a good balance?
Yeah, what's a good balance? I think it depends on what you're like interested in. Like, are you going on Twitter to get your news and which you can also get that from Instagram, but do you want to read it all? You can. I follow like all these different sites to get.
But it's tougher because
it depends what kind of news you're getting. If you and they might post a picture of a fire, or I know I do not watch the news ever. Mm-hmm. I go on Twitter. The news I get from Twitter is whatever Kyle posts on Twitter or whatever you share on Twitter, because I literally follow like 3 people. And so anything I know about the world I get from Instagram through pictures. So I think you really, or just from someone telling me. Like, I don't watch that kind of TV.
That's a terrible way to approach getting news.
Why? I know everything I need to know.
Yeah, I mean, if you know everything
I know everything I need to know. Like, what else am I missing? I'm not missing anything. No, but so the balance, I think it's how you want to get whatever information you're wanting to get. If you want to follow cute dogs, you can follow that on Twitter, you can follow that on Instagram, you can follow it on Facebook. It really just depends what your method, or you could do all 3. Maybe you're someone, or I shouldn't even say all 3 because there's so many different answers. But I think what you said about older people on Facebook and like you're reaching different people through different platforms, and because not everybody's like, our parents, my parents aren't on Instagram, your dad's not on Instagram, they're on Facebook, but I never post on Facebook. So like sharing photos of our daughter, we do it through an app called Tiny Beans. So there's different like things you can use, not even just the general Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, things like that. I mean, there's so many different other platforms. There's LinkedIn for work.
Yeah. Well, social media is just such a broad umbrella. I mean, like, social media can be a running app that you do against somebody else. That's positive. Yeah. You're both exercising. You're both seeing each other's scores. Mm-hmm. I think what becomes the problem is just, the attachment to the phone and, like, always having to look at an app because you need that justification of a like or a follow or something to that extent. So that's where it's bad, but it's also bad because it's just like we're not as social as we are on social media. It almost makes us not social in real life. In a sense, so like it's just strange, and because it's like you put out one persona on the social media, and then in real life someone expects you to be that way and you're not. It creates for like a weird interaction.
Being on your phones with social media, I think that's a big problem. It's people are connected through their phones rather than connecting through in person, but you said there's a lot of positives with social media, and there is, but there's also a lot of negatives that people aren't as social. Or, if you leave your phone home for the day and you go to work, you feel very disconnected from the world, from anything, through talking, text messages as well, but also from social media. And then you go on social media and you're like, oh my gosh, I missed everything. Because you get whatever news you're getting from there. Like, you get your sports news from there. You get whatever it is you want to keep up with, you get from whatever social media platform that you follow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's important.
So, in my opinion, a big negative with social media is just about, I said in the beginning I have 70-something followers on Twitter, which I don't care, but I think, a younger generation that, you care a lot about those things, like how many people are following you, how many likes do you get, and it's another way to just kind of, I don't know the words I'm looking for, but another way to, like, someone's better than you because of their social media presence.
Yeah, a lot of depression is caused from social media.
Yeah, there was that one Black Mirror episode. Do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
I only watched a couple, but I watched that one with you where they walk around with it was like a hologram over their head, right? Mm-hmm. That they had like how many likes they had and how many followers they had, and you don't like someone and someone does something bad and then they lose all their followers, and that, I mean, it's crazy that's like the world, that is like the world.
Well, it's a weird balance because it's like, I talk about we don't want to be on our phones in front of our daughter, but she's going to be brought up in a world where every other parent or something allows their kid to be on their phone and have a social media account. So if she doesn't have one, then she's sort of an outcast, you know? So as much as of an outcast you could be on social media, she'll almost be more of an outcast because she's not even on any of that stuff. And maybe we get to a point in time where school teachers are putting homework and all this stuff on social media, making it, you know, where every kid has to be on there. So there has to be a good balance of how you know, take in social media.
I think a challenge with someone, and something, we're not there yet, but eventually we will get there with our daughter, is, you know, being worried about like cyberbullying and, you know, even, you know, things with YouTube, people put their lives up. That's our choice, a decision that we made. People can, you know, say whatever they want on any social media platform. Like, you know, just take any celebrity, for example. They post a picture. I guarantee you there's like millions of comments in there that are just tearing people apart for no reason. Like, what is the point of going on someone's page and tearing them apart? And that's something that, you know, kids do that to each other when they are behind a computer screen. They make up a fake account and they just write some mean comment to make someone feel really badly. And so I think that is a really sad part of social media, is it gives people the opportunity to do it kind of behind closed doors, whereas nobody's coming up to your face, or, I mean, people do, but nobody's coming up to your face and saying the things that they say on social media. Yeah,
I think that's what was so good about old school AOL was everything was authentic. So, like, if someone had a screen name, it probably was them. There wasn't a lot of fake, you know, people going around.
In chat rooms and stuff. There was
that happened after a little bit, but when it first started, it was genuine. Like, I don't have any stories of, like, being in a chat room and, like, you know, weird.
You don't know. There could have been some pedophiles in there talking about Doug or something.
Maybe, but if they were talking the language that I wanted to hear, then it worked. Like, it never got to a point where anyone ever said, like, hey, meet up with me at a mall or something like that. Yeah. Where evolution is obviously good and, like, improvements to technology is always good, but sometimes it's bad too. The fact that, like, people can create multiple accounts is scary because you know, they can do weird things like that. Whereas in the past, AOL, you really could only create one screen name, or, like, if you had a max amount of screen names you could create for your family or something like that. So it's, social media has gotten to a weird place for some reasons, you know. Some people think, and it's probably only going to get weirder. It might only get worse. It probably could get, it's obviously going to get better too,
So what are your thoughts on, like, social media, like, influencers who, I mean, that's what they call them, like, influencers. And, I mean, they'll either, like, I mean, a lot of advertising is done now. You know, you work in marketing and you know this, but a lot of advertising is done through social media, through these influencers. Yeah.
The only part of, like, businesses and social media, like, businesses is sometimes it's phony and false. Like, you can buy fake, you know, followers, and you could buy likes and stuff like that. So a lot of these executives who are older, who don't know social media, are just like, oh my God, this guy's got 30,000 followers. And then you really dig into it.
And you know someone who does that.
Yeah. Do I?
Who would that?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I probably do. This is very... Oh, yeah, okay. I mean, like, there's people...
I'm not going to shout them out.
There's people who can... Ooh, that was weird. There's people who can buy followers and buy likes and all this stuff. So if you really are, like, savvy to social media, you can dig into it and see, like, fake accounts. But if you're some executive and you're telling, like, a worker who's at the bottom on the ground level, like, hey, they look like they have a big following and don't really know, and then you have to explain to them that no. So it could be deceiving. But then again, it could also be a great way to reach a ton of people. Like Randy and his Iron Intel, you know, he said he got a bump in his views on his webpage from our chat.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so, like, that is something positive. Like, there's organic growth that's good, but then Like when it gets saturated with bad things, it's bad.
Well, so he got a bump because he came on here and people saw he's a genuine person. They want to check out his website. And for me, I mentioned a lot of times I'm a mom, a new mom. When I was looking for baby products for Nyx, I would look up YouTubers and like see their reviews they did on products. And so these are people who probably were paid to talk about those products. But the ones that I watch and follow and kind of see like them using it, and most of the time, I felt like they were genuine, and a lot of the product recommendations that I got from those things, and I would do my own research, I liked them. And so they're making money off of these companies saying like, hey, we're going to sponsor you to promote this product through your different social media channels, whether that's YouTube or Instagram, and that's how I get a lot of recommendations on so many different things in life.
So how do you not get scared away by influencers? Because something that would scare me away is I see like 500,000 followers, and they put up they're wearing a pair of jeans or something. They're like, oh, these fit great, and it's just like ad. Like I'm like, how does he like? He probably wears something like he's wearing something else. Like something that with Shaquille O'Neal that always turned me off to him is he's the biggest endorser for Buick.
Yeah. Is he the one who's on The General?
Yes.
Commercial too?
Yeah, like he's got his insurance through like some top level thing.
Yeah, he's not using The General.
I tried The General, and you get mad at me because I switch topics a lot, but like The General is a fraud.
Yeah.
And they're not a fraud. I'm sure they do good, but like they just tell you different insurance providers. They're not an actual insurance provider. So Shaq is an endorser for that. He also endorsed Buick, and he can't fit his ass in a Buick. So like I almost want to find someone under the radar, like if I started doing like something and someone said something.
Yeah, but Corin, if somebody sends you, if some company was like, hey, I want you to promote this product on your YouTube channel and do a review, and it was for something like, I don't know, I'm trying to just think, like something so crazy. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
I'm trying to think how crazy you're going.
It's just like, let's just say like a lavender scented toothpaste that like you would never use. Yeah. Okay, just like something random that you're like, oh, I love this toothpaste. Like you would never take it just because. I would hope you wouldn't.
But the 500,000 follower person would take that shit.
I mean, like in most cases that I've seen, not all of them. I mean, there are people who you see them just like take like whatever sponsorship just because they're doing it for money and stuff. In which, this is like their job. Most of these people, like, they are full-time influencers or whatever, but they're not taking things just for the money. You know, Kyle had someone who wanted to set up a deal for something for like a big thing. Like that's not what he's about. He's not going to take it just because it's an opportunity. And I think a lot of these people get so many sponsorships, they're going to take the ones, and I see them using these products again. It's not like a one-time thing. And I think the other thing you just have to be mindful of is that's the way that like advertising is going. So you learn about products that way, and I mean, then you take that, and then for me, I don't just, someone says it's a great product, and I'm like, okay, done, buy it. I then go look up my own research and read reviews, but like that is honestly how I personally, when I like registered everything for our baby and for a lot of like the skincare products I use, I'll like hear about it through either YouTube or Instagram, and then I'll do my own research, and I'm like, oh, I really like this product. I think it's a good one. And so, I mean, I think there are definitely people out there who just do it for whatever, and it's not genuine, but a lot of them, you see them wearing those things again.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. It's just, it's again, you have to do your own research, and you can't just trust people, because they have a huge following.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you could follow someone with a huge following, and they promote something, and you're like, oh, that's great. But do your own research, too, and look at it, and that's, like, the bigger picture of social media, too, is, like, do your own research. Yeah. Don't trust what someone you follow necessarily says and assume that that's true, because like maybe it's not. Maybe they have their own biases or something.
But almost any, like most, I'm not going to say almost any, but most people with big followings have done some type of like sponsorships, and because that's just the way, that's what social media is now. Yeah. Is people with, and they have like the swipe up feature for those people who have, so many followers. So that's just like the way of the world with social media. I have another question for you with social media.
Uh-huh.
What are your thoughts on social media? On really, this would be more geared towards like Instagram and Facebook, on people who just kind of like put their life out there, and it's like almost like a facade. It's just like not.
Yeah, so I thought you were gonna ask differently. I would almost respect if someone put everything out there, like good, bad, like when we're driving or something like that, we're arguing over like me watching TV while I drive or something like that. That's real, you know. People write like, "Oh, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see you guys fighting," but it's like, no, you need to see us fighting because we fight. Like that happens in relationships. It's not all perfect, and like,
right.
If you see the movie Girls Trip, as corny as it is, like,
I haven't seen it.
The one like girl who's supposedly she's the most successful one out of the girls group, the friend, and her whole build up is she's got this great relationship with her husband and all this stuff. But meanwhile, I'm gonna spoil the movie, but at the end, Queen Latifah or someone has a TMZ photo of him cheating on her. So like everything looked all perfect and golden when that was going on, that like they didn't want that to get out to the public. But like, you need to see fighting, you need to see real stuff, because when you always see everything perfect, you're sitting back looking at this stuff on social media like, that can't, like, that's not, they have a kid, that kid has to be crying during the night, or like just other stuff has to be going on. So like, everything's not always perfect. So I think the influencers that we appreciate and like we, you know, like relate to more are the ones or like put out everything. And that's how social media could be good too, is like, you know, I put on my social media like funny stuff, sometimes like bad stuff, political stuff, good, bad, the ugly. You see everything. And that's why people, you know, resonate with me and Kyle and stuff like that. So there's that, I think that is a positive from social media, is just being genuine, because like if you're genuine outside of social media, people respect you for that. You know, if you're phony outside of social media, people will call you a phony.
Right.
It's just, you could be the same person you are in real life, just be that person on social media too. Don't be a fake person. And that's when social media goes bad.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. I mean, not saying that someone needs to go on social media and like air all their dirty laundry, but if they're someone who's posting all the time just about how like great their life is, how great their husband is, how wonderful, it's all rainbows and butterflies, it's just not relatable, because it's like nobody's life is like that. So if you want to post your whole life, then you might as well just like share everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, the happy, the sad. I know for me personally, that's what I always struggle with social media, and why. So I have like 2 separate accounts. Like I have a personal account with like everyone from like my life, like friends, family. It's a private account, just kind of my life. And then I have a whole separate account that's a public account that I created a couple years ago when we were trying to get pregnant with Nix and everything we were going through. And it was like an anonymous account, and I was able to like connect with.
She had a burner.
I had a burner account. It's not anonymous anymore, but I was able to connect with like a lot of different women who were going through very similar situations with me, all through hashtags, like hashtags on photos, like looking up hashtags and women who are just kind of dealing with the same things as me. And I thought that was like so cool to be able to like connect, and a lot of them I'm still like social media friends with, and like.
But through that, you found even people in your inner circle that were going through the same problems that would have never known that.
I found that out though through posting things on my personal account, that I posted like in my stories of stuff that we were going through in my personal account, and then my own friends.
But without sharing that.
But without sharing that, right?
Pictures
and so
of the
now,
baby in this.
right? And now, so I have people that like in my own personal life that I know in real life that like reached out to me and were like, "Hey, I'm going through some similar things," and now, you know, it's like a friendship on a whole other level, and it's just kind of like, for me, I mean, I don't on my personal account share my whole life either, but I'm also not on there like saying my life is perfect all the time, and not, I mean, whatever. do you on social media, but that's just my personal struggle with it, is like this whole like my life is perfect and people, it's just like not real. And with my other account that I use, the one that I actually go on is like a public account that I really am not even friends with anybody in my personal life, only like not even Corin, only just a couple of family members on there, but everybody else like I don't even know in real life. And I'm just more like, I post whatever. It's just like real stuff happening, and for me it's just like more freeing, and it's just like I just
you should
like
be
that
comfortable
better.
like you should be comfortable enough to do that on your social media.
I don't do that on my social media because I don't like seeing what other people in my personal life post, because I cannot stand looking at people's Instagram of people I know who it's like, my life is perfect. My life is perfect. Like, I don't need to read.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you did that
but I don't like the feed of the people I follow on my personal account.
Oh.
I don't like looking at
so you don't like your friends.
It's not that I...
What does that even mean?
It's not that I don't like my friends. It's just like... It's just the people I follow on the other account. It's just more towards like... It's just different. And I also follow a lot of like just like different...
Well, I think that's why people sometimes have like an
different.
Undercover like life or so. Like,
Yeah.
hopefully you're not like doing some... That was a weird look. She just kidding.
No,
but like these people like
it's
you
a
watch like
public
Billions
account.
and stuff like that. Like I think
I've
one of
never
the main
seen it.
I never saw it, but like the main lady who worked in the law firm or something at night was doing like weird 50 Shades of Grey stuff.
Mean,
like,
no, I don't
people
know.
live these other lives because they feel more comfortable
yeah.
being their genuine
It's not
selves.
that I would post whatever, and I don't care about what I'm posting on that. Like I said, I posted a picture of me giving myself a shot in the stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not a normal thing to post. But I just don't like the feed as much on that account with the people I follow. And I know that sounds really weird, but...
It sounds
like,
super weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
It makes sense.
Like,
I get it.
It's just different. It's just the different... I mean, it's a lot of people from, like, high school and college, and it's just like not, it's just different.
I get it.
Like,
I get it.
I'm just at a different place in my life. I don't know. I love all those people.
No, I get it.
But I just don't really, I don't know.
It makes sense. I mean, but it's good that there's a platform for you to do that, because thinking, what would you have done in the mid-90s or something, you know? Would you have gone to class or like met up with a women's group or something in the community? Like, that's what I'm saying. There's positive for social media because you wouldn't have had that back in the day.
And that's what I was saying. Like, with the hashtags, like, that's how I, like, connected with all these people. And it's just so crazy because we wouldn't have those opportunities. And, I mean, even just look at, look at the reach that, I mean, there's not so many followers on this versus, like someone like Kyle's channel, but look at how many people, like, he can connect with, and even you can connect with through this or through your podcast with Kyle. Or you go somewhere and, you know, I've read comments, like, on people from Kyle's channel that said, like, he literally, like, kind of, like, changed their whole view on politics and, like, kind of changed someone's life in that kind of way. And for me, when I was going through and still go through all the things that we've been dealing with having kids, not that I can't share that with you, but it's just a different experience to go through it. Like, personally, you don't physically go through what I go through.
True.
You don't give yourself shots. You're not physically dealing with those things. So it's like a very different experience.
And that's why I go to social media to talk basketball shit with people, because I can't have those conversations.
Exactly. So you can connect with people in a different way.
You could speak the same language.
Like, I can connect with these people, and it's just like a different group of, it's just like, so I love social media in that aspect, and I think there's a lot of positives to it for, you know, sharing with your family. We don't live in the same state as our family, so, like, to share our daughter with them and they feel like they're really connected to her, I feel like that's really important. But I also, there's a lot, I think just for me, the biggest downfalls would be bullying, the time, like, the screen time you're facing.
Yeah, now iPhone does a thing where it tells you how long you're going to be staring at you've been staring at your phone, like the usage of your phone. And, like, we don't know what the future is going to be for us, like, and our children. Like, and Joe Rogan spoke about this. I spoke about this with Kyle, but like, is our hands gonna be different? Like, cause we type faster and like the evolution of like.
Literally the last week, my thumb has been like twitch. Did you see that?
Yeah.
It's constantly twitching. My thumb.
Like I'll be wearing sweatpants and like.
And I'm left-handed, and it's always like.
I know, and like my wrists will hurt because it's just like you hold your hand in these awkward positions, and like, how is that gonna like develop over time? You know, like we do this with our thumb every 2 seconds. There was evolution from apes to like human beings, like.
But I mean, how long have people been sitting at a desk like on keyboards, and people aren't like? I mean, there are people who are super.
For not that long, I don't feel like.
Yeah. So I mean, how long before the thumbs? Like another 100.
Maybe not. I don't know. I mean, like, who knows? But like, there will be a change because like.
Yeah.
People weren't doing that in the.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, we're gonna
it just
need
started
stronger thumbs. I mean, I think in like our generation
thumb
and
gonna be crazy soon.
And the generation below us, there's gonna be like more like thumb
twitching.
Like no, like arthritis or like
100%.
I can't think of the name of the other one, but like where your thumb is literally like carpal tunnel, just like handed because your thumbs are from like 100%. Texting all the time. It's gonna be like crazy. And like nicks, but maybe by then they'll have a different kind of cell phone.
Yeah, I mean,
people could do like speak to text.
Oh yeah, like Kyle does.
Yeah.
Does anyone hold the voice record and speak into that as like, and then the message appears? It's big. It was big in Colombia. Kyle, it's big in Kyle. I don't use it too much, but like I started the conversation with, there's so many like layers to social media. There's good, there's bad, you know, there's scary, but if you balance it out right, like anything, you know, in moderations and, you know, just the way you use these things, like, are you going on there to be a troll, or like, are you going on there to be positive? Are you going on there to learn? Are you going on there to share knowledge? Like there's a lot of levels to it, and it's just a matter of how you use it. Like someone could say something to me and I'm open-minded enough to read that message, like process the information, and then come back with an answer like, you're still an idiot, or okay, I'm an idiot. So like it's just about how you use it, and that's life in general. You know, social media is just life. Like it's just an extension of that. It's aimed to AOL to bring everything full circle.
But it's really changing the way we live our lives. I mean, it truly is. I mean, you can do just so much through social media. I was just thinking
it is, but then again, it's how you do that. Because if you're the same person you're on social media that you are off of it, when I'm traveling, I'm the same person.
No, yeah, you personally, but I also was just thinking on, like, how we interact as people in the world. So I was just thinking, like, if I'm going to stay somewhere or go travel somewhere, and you put in location and you look up a place, like, if we're going to Nashville, and then you know, okay, here's where we want to go, and you click on the place, you can see different pictures from there, and then you say, oh, no, I don't want to go there. Or, you know, like, I know when we went on our honeymoon and we went to Maui, I looked up our hotel on there and looked at all the different things that you can do. And so it's just the internet in the way that you can use it through social media.
I don't like it in that sense.
I see, that's what I was saying with, like, the hashtags. And, like, I love to get ideas through if we're like redoing like our cabinets or we're doing something in our house. Like I like to look at the hashtags and get different ideas.
Yeah, but the traveling thing, it almost like it's just filtering everything, so it's good. Like sometimes when I grew up was like stopping in North Carolina at these weird econo lodges and interacting with like these people behind the counter that were super sketchy. Like you can't just filter everything, and like that's sort of what social media is doing.
Why is it filtered?
Because you're looking at a hotel in Hawaii, this one doesn't look good, this does look good. I'm going to stay at the one that looks good.
We already knew our hotel.
I know, but I'm saying that's what you were.
Yeah, but you would do that. We don't live our lives in a way that we're just taking life, and some people do this where they're just like, oh, tomorrow I'm going to go here, I'm just going to get in the car and end up where I end up, and I'll book the hotel when I get there. In most cases, you're doing things ahead of time. You're not last minute, like if you're traveling somewhere, you're not just last minute, oh, I'm gonna head to the airport, see if I can catch a flight. So. Like, you have to do these things in advance, so why not get ideas? Or, oh, I'm going to Europe, I've never been to Europe, what is an interesting place to do? It's just like using the internet, but if I do it through social media, then I can see, oh, I want to go to this salon. These are pictures of what this hairstylist did. I mean, even when we were getting pictures done for Nix's first birthday, we looked through social media accounts, through hashtags. I found a photographer and I said, this is the work she's done. Let's go with her. I mean, or we could have just like randomly pulled out the yellow pages and said, let's just try her. That's what people
used to do.
Yeah, that's what people used to do. But that's what I'm saying. Social media is changing the way we do everything in life. And so social media, I'm thinking Instagram specifically, but even my dad did his cooking event. He posted a Facebook event and people signed up through Facebook. So just the way that we're doing life in general is so different because of social media. And that's why companies who aren't like keeping with the times and aren't innovative on how are they going to use social media, they fail. They're not successful in the way that they need to be, and technology is just moving so fast. So I just think that's really interesting with it. I mean, like I said what I thought my negatives were, but I think it's just really interesting, like if you think 10 years from now where we're going to be.
So overall, you think it's a positive?
I think it's a positive when you can, my sister lives in China and I can share a picture and she can see it in an instant. And we can FaceTime if they don't have an iPhone through Facebook. And you know, you can do all of these things through these platforms that is just amazing. And the ability for us to sit here and record this video and chat, and people in Italy and Turkey and wherever else people have said they've watched them. Like, that's just crazy. So I think it's amazing. My thing I don't like about it is the fakeness that... you know, when people post things and just act like life is just like they never deal with anything, and then the bullying. No, I'm just saying though, like I think overall it's a positive. Those are just the two, and then the being on your phone all the time. Those are the three things that I would say my biggest things that I don't like about it.
Yeah, that's where I have to work on, is just being on my phone all the time. So like, whether it's designated times to use it or just like, you know, when I think of something, just, you know, post, let it rock for a little bit, maybe go back, check it out. But, like, it obviously can affect children, it can affect parents, so, I mean, you got to use it in the right ways, and that's how I think social media...
Oh, I thought I was going to see. Do you check your times to see, like...
No.
Oh.
No,
I'm not, I mean, maybe you could see, like, if you saw that report and you're like, oh, wow, I was on social media for 5 hours today.
I don't care.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. I don't care. I mean, like, seeing
those
numbers... I
thought you just said you wanted to reduce it.
Oh, I do want to reduce it, but I need to see that I've been on it for 7 hours or 8 hours. Like, that, I know I'm on it a lot, or I know I'm holding my phone a lot. Like, I hold my phone, it's just like, everyone, it's just stapled to your hand, whether... you're on social media or not, it's just in your hand.
Yeah.
And to your point, like, I'll wear sweatpants without my phone in my pockets, and I'll be like, something just vibrate. Like, you feel it vibrate, or like you just anticipate that.
You know what's funny though is like when someone thinks they lose their phone.
Yeah, and they touch around their pockets.
Well, no, it's like, oh my gosh, like you like.
Well, it's a scary thought.
Well,
I mean, like,
because
phones
also,
are expensive.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you lose like
all your
whole,
contacts,
the whole
photos
back of my phone right now is shattered.
Yeah, but even outside of that, it's just like you've got notes you've kept in there. Like, comedians write down their sets. Like, I write down songs I like. So like.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you write songs.
Oh yeah, the
like
songs I compose.
You write. I was like, since when?
Yeah, no, that's social media. Like I said, there's a lot of levels to it. We could probably even do another discussion on this, but I just wanted to get Molly's take. I wanted to hear some of your guys' thoughts on it. Let us know if you know how you use it, because sometimes people just write some negative comments on there and it's just like they're a troll, you know, like. But for the most part, people who follow are very positive, and everybody doesn't need to be positive. If you have like, not a negative question, but if you're confused about something and you ask it, and like, we'll answer it. Like, that's what the interaction should be, as it should be in real life.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah. It's cool to connect with people that you
100%. I love it. I
don't know, and maybe one day we'll get to know.
Yeah.
But it's cool to connect with people, and it's really positive. So
Yep.
overall, I'm gonna say thumbs up on social media.
Yeah, me too. That's Molly's Mind, social media.